Autonomic failure in α-synucleinopathies can constitute a whole range of different symptoms. One of the most disabling manifestations is orthostatic intolerance. So typically when you stand up, if you have an intact autonomic nervous system, these autonomic networks act to squeeze your blood vessels together a bit tighter to support your blood pressure as you stand, and your heart might pump a little bit faster to keep your blood pressure steady when you go from a sitting to standing position. In autonomic failure, this automatic reflex doesn't occur, so the blood pressure tends to fall and there's no heart rate compensation. So patients can feel lightheaded, dizzy, like they're about to faint, and if the blood pressure falls really low, they might collapse. So this is something that occurs every single time they stand up, potentially, and it can be really disabling. So they may be confined to a sitting or even lying down position if things are really severe. So that's just one of the domains. Some patients can have very prominent bladder dysfunction. So in MSA, for example, patients can have urinary incontinence or the opposite, urinary retention, and may need things like a catheter. So it can be quite something that affects the quality of life quite significantly. Patients can also have urogenital dysfunction, so erectile dysfunction or problems of ejaculation in men, and they can also have quite prominent sudomotor dysfunction, so problems with sweating where parts don't sweat of the body and some parts may sweat in excess, and that can contribute to heat intolerance, so they really can't tolerate being in a warm environment, and that has also effects on the blood pressure, so it can all combine to leading to lots of effects on their quality of life. And it's something that we found in our study too, that patients with pure autonomic failure, for example, who had quite significant autonomic failure, both on their autonomic testing as well as what was reported in their autonomic symptom questionnaires, they actually reported similarly severe levels of physical disability compared to patients with MSA who have all this motor dysfunction. So we think of MSA as a very severe disease, and it is, but even in patients with pure autonomic failure who just have autonomic failure, that on its own without any other central disability or central manifestations is also very disabling and needs a lot of our attention too as a research community to focus on how we can improve that.